Alright, what's up YouTube? It's Engine 171 back again. I'm getting ready to do a short review on the McNally Intelliroute TND 720 with lifetime maps. Okay, we got the GPS all set up and suction cup as if it would be in your truck to my end table here. So first things first, let's go ahead, hold the power button for a couple seconds and turn it on. Get this nice picture of it starting up. Nice truck. Get a loading bar there at the bottom. And once it boots up, I'm just going to run through a couple of the features and see if I can show you some of the things you can do once you put a route into your GPS. Alright, we get this nifty little warning talking about assuming responsibility. You shouldn't operate this while you're driving. Yeah. Sometimes we have no choice. We're going to accept this. Alright, this is the main menu. This is the main screen. To run through differences of the screens, if you click on Truck Tools, you have a whole list of categories you can choose from. First of all, let me go back and change my preferences to truck mode because I was using it earlier in my car. Yes, this does have a car mode, which is one thing I really like about it. I don't have to have a separate GPS for my car. Okay, truck tools. Click on your truck info. This is all your main info that the GPS will read at when it's routing you. So if you have a route or a load that has hazmat, you're going to want to come here and put in what kind of hazmat you're carrying. Some roads you can't carry certain things on, so that's that. You want to put in your empty weight. Now also you want to put in your weight when you're loaded. How much are you carrying? It's not always going to be 80,000 pounds, so put in your weight. Most trucks' height is 13.6, so you can leave that alone. Your width is 8.6, so you can leave that alone. Trailers, it just depends on what you haul. Usually my company, we haul 53-foot trailers, so I'm going to leave that set. Of course, it's going to be 5 axles. Truck Eta Adjustment, you could use that setting for if your truck is governed at a certain mile per hour. Don't worry about that, that's just my log. If your truck is governed at a certain mile per hour, then you can use that adjustment. If you're running like out west in the United States, you can use that ETA adjustment. If you're governed at 65, apparently your GPS is thinking you're going to be doing the speed limit, which sometimes is 75, and in some areas it's even 80. So that you can use that setting to adjust that. So back out of truck information, go down to your warnings. Your warnings is just that. It's just that, your warnings. You have warning alert prompts if you want it to be audible or visual only or both. How long do you want it until it dismisses the warning? 10 seconds. Do you want a small bar or the whole screen to display that warning? Curve warnings, it lets you know when a sharp curve is coming up. I have mine set to 1 mile. Same thing for hills. Go down. Engine brake warning. Some towns, most states have a Jake brake law in which you can't use them at all or after certain hours. So that'll let you know when those warnings come into effect. Same thing with narrow roads, driving session, and driving day and on-duty day. I haven't been able to figure out, but I would think it would let you know an hour before you're due to go off break. Go on like your DOT break or end your shift, your 11-hour day. Scroll down further. Speed limit display. That shows what the speed limit is for trucks. If there is no speed limit posted for trucks on that particular highway, it will show you a car speed limit. State border alert. How far do you want your GPS to let you know when you're getting ready to cross a state border? State border time zone change. I guess that would just let you know when you change in time zones. Your toll booths. I have mine set to 2 miles. You can set it like that. Click on it. You can set it to 3, 4, 5. I have mine set to 2 miles. Way station. I have mine set to 2 miles. Me being new, that gives me an extra mile to pay attention and read my signs and start looking for my signs. Same thing with construction area. Speed, I had mine set to 10 miles per hour over. That's only because I was driving my personal vehicle today and the GPS kept annoying me when I was going 5 miles over the speed limit. So once I get in my truck and get back on the road tomorrow, I'll set that to maybe 3 or 4 miles over. Back out of here. Quick planner. It's just a quick way from city to city to get a rough estimate of how far it is and how long it'll take you. Timers, mileage, trails, and fuel. This is more for owner-operators. And this is also like another set of logs. I don't know how that will play out, if it counts as having 2 sets of logs or falsifying logs or whatever, but it's something that you can't avoid on a GPS. So, trails. This basically, you can start a new trail here, and it just basically leave like breadcrumbs on roads that you've already traveled on. Fuel. This is more for owner operators. You can do all sorts of stuff in here. Road atlas information. I believe that you can get okay, like California, it gives you all sorts of information like police numbers, hazardous materials numbers, and then it also gives you some really important information. I got into a scruffle going out to Sacramento. My lead driver, we went to slide the tandems. I told him specifically it's 40 feet for the state of California. He told me it was 41. I got the violation because I was driving. So this is another good thing about it. If you don't know, you can either do one of 2 things: pick up an atlas or some book that'll tell you what it is. If you don't know, don't just, don't just ride with them, because you'll get a violation like me. Luckily, I didn't have to pay for it. So it tells you all trailers over 48 feet up to and including 53 feet. You can have no more than 40 feet from the kingpin to the center of the rear axle. It tells you all of this. And each state is different. You have a calendar, which is pretty neat. You have a notepad, which is pretty neat. You can type notes. You have a mile to kilometer converter. Not that we need it here in the States. You also have a calculator, which is pretty neat. Tell Rand. Anything you can tell him anything from a speed limit correction to, a wrong road or whatever the case may be. Gonna back up. Okay, go to map. That's just basically your map of where you're at. There are several different things you can do. You can have this down here show you the street that you're on, the next cross street, or the city and state and county that you're currently in. I usually leave mine on the road that I'm on. This button here shows you a 3D view of you traveling, a north up view, meaning north is always going to be up, or heading up, meaning whichever direction you're going is always going to be up. I like mine to be on 3D view, which is kind of a mix between 3D and heading up. This little button right here brings you back to that main menu. You can zoom in, you can zoom out. Okay, you'll see this tab once we set a route. Same thing with that tab once we set a route. This little button here, your mile per hour, this is a neat little screen. It shows you the percentage of your trip, how long you got left on the trip, your odometer for this trip, and once you get going, it'll have like a hill gradient. It tells you your average speed going uphill, your average speed going downhill, your gradient that you're currently on. You have your local time for your yard, which is my home time, but you can change it to whatever terminal you're out of. You have your compass, the local time for where you're at now, the time for your destination will be in there if you had a route plan, and how long it'll take you to get there. This tab over here, 1, 2, and 3, is just basically like a sum of your hours of service. So what I'll do tomorrow is I'll just come down here and sorry, I got my light on. I'll just come down here and reset it, since I'm going to be getting back on the truck tomorrow. Okay, we're going to back all the way out. Okay, of course you got your volume buttons. You can mute the sound altogether. Okay, now this little tab up here, empty, DOT brake, or whatever. You click on that, you can have a second driver. This is basically like your Qualcomm, keeps track of all your hours, whether you're empty or loaded, which it will ask you once you put in a route if you have it in your settings. It's just a lot of features to this GPS I really like so far. So okay, now we're going to choose destination. Now you can go from your history if you've been there before, or a point of interest, a local search, your address book if you got an address saved, or you can do a new location for a new trip. I'm going to do new location. Let me get out one of my trip sheets from one of my trips last week and just do it off of that. Bear with me, give me 1 second. Okay, this is a good one. Okay, we went from Modesto, California to Salt Lake City, Utah. That's a total. They paid us for 710 miles. I don't have the address on here, so I might not be able to do this. Okay, I'll just do city center. Okay, so from here we're going to go to Salt Lake City, Utah. S-A-L-T space L. And you see it already popped up with a list of stuff. Utah. And now you see that little symbol is generating a route. Alright, now before you confirm this route, it'll tell you what page the atlas, and if you have an up-to-date atlas, it'll tell you what page it's on. You can save this information to your address book, that address you put in. You can compare 2 different routes, so if you hit that button, it'll show you 2 different routes for that route. For example, you can do that if your company gives you directions through the Qualcomm. But for the sake of this tutorial, we're going to begin a new route. You see it asks, is the truck loaded for this route? Yep, we're loaded. Now up there, those are just things I set. Avoid toll booths, avoid ferries, avoid dirt roads, and I usually have avoid U-turns there. But like I said, I was driving my car earlier, so. I'm trying to get through this video fast. I'm already at almost 14 minutes, so just bear with me. We'll be through in a couple of minutes. All right.
State border ahead. Turn right on Southern Avenue.
Okay, now it's telling me state border ahead. That's because at the top of my street, if I go across the street, I will be into Washington, D.C. So, now from here, you can make adjustments to your route. You have your route filed. You see the distance is 2,159 miles. And I don't know what time that is, but you can go back here. Go back to choose destination. Multi-stop trips. Hold on, that's the wrong thing, sorry. Okay, now if you hit that tab, the directions tab, I'm sorry, I don't know if you've seen that. The directions tab, now these are your directions. Now at any point, if you see it put you on a route you don't want to be on, you can just click on it, click detour. And it won't put you on that particular road.
Turn right on Southern Avenue.
Okay. Now, now that top tab just brings up points of interest like gas stations, food, and other things. It gives you the exit number off the highway that you will get off at to get to that particular one. I'm trying to get to the other screen where I can choose destination, points of interest. Yep, here we go. Okay, now say I wanted to plan a stop or fuel stop at a Love's or truck stop somewhere. I would just go to, alright, say we're here on our route. I would just hit this main menu button there, choose destination. We already got our route plan, so we're going to go to points of interest. Now, you can do near your truck by doing my truck, the end of the day, towards the end of your 8 hours or your 11 hours, near your destination in a particular city. And apparently you can make custom points of interest and quick stops. But for now, we're going to go to okay, I have no idea what they mean by the red dot, but okay, points of interest on your route, travel centers. And it's going to basically look at all of your, just about all of your route, and bring up a lot of different stuff. So I don't know if I want to let this go all the way for the 2,500 miles. Okay, so anyway, say we wanted to stop at the Pilot on Route 81, I-81. It tells you what exit 5B in Maryland. You would click on it, and at this point it gives you the address, the telephone number, the city and state, and you can add it as via. And so your route will continue after you arrive at that point. And you would just okay. And now what it's going to do is it's going to route you to your first fuel stop. Once you get there, it's going to tell you
turn left on Southern Avenue.
It basically now makes the route as a multi-stop route, so you don't have to do it from that multi-stop tab. You can just do it just like that, which is the easier way, and it'll make your route a multi-stop route. So basically, once you get to that Pilot, you fuel up, it'll give you a prompt to continue the trip, and you don't even have to re-enter it into your system. And again, like I said, I'm still figuring everything else out. Now say we wanted something by the end of the day. Say we wanted another travel center. Okay, it's going to bring up a lot of the same travel centers, but you would do it the same way that I just did. So again, like I said, this GPS is real useful to me so far. And then, like I said, for a specific step in your route list, instead of clicking that one little tab there, and clicking on the specific road you don't want, you can hit that little button down here, click on detour, and it'll do the same thing. You can also skip a step. Like if you wanted to skip your fuel stop, you can skip it and it'll take you right on to the next step. You can cancel your route. You can have an avoid list to all over the country. It'll avoid certain roads or certain cities or certain towns. You can save your current location to your address book, so if your company delivers there often, you can save it so next time you don't have to keep punching it in. And again, that's basically it. A lot of the things you just basically for real just do like I did, just figure it out. But I guess that's the basics of how to operate it. And cancel this route right quick. Now, for example, if you want to use it in your car, you use it in your car no different, but all you do is hit the preferences, vehicle type, put it on car mode, so it really won't route you around restricted roads and things like that. It'll work just like a regular GPS. So again, if you have any questions, concerns, comments, suggestions, feel free to leave me a comment. I'll get back to it as soon as I can. I'm gonna try to start uploading a lot of different videos. Right now I'm recording this one from my iPhone, so hopefully pretty soon I'll have a GoPro camera or something like that. So again, thanks for watching. If you have any questions or concerns, leave me a comment. I'll try to answer it or research it as best I can, and hopefully by then I'll know the GPS a lot better to be able to give you a spot on answer. But still, do leave me a comment, rate it, subscribe to me. I got a lot more stuff in plans for videos. I know my channel is kind of bare, but I'm trying to get into it more. So this is the Rand McNally Intelliroute TND 720, and thank you for watching. Be safe, keep trucking, keep the wheels turning, keep the rubber down. Peace.